Yo, what's good, my brother? We here.
What's going on, man?
This your boy. Well, he's Tony, and I'm Teddy.
Yes. We
B-
finally have ourselves somewhat of an intro to the Breaking the Narrative podcast.
B.T.N for short.
Yes, sir.
So, how you doing today?
Uh, a bit gloomy outside, but
Yeah,
other than that, it's all right. It's all right.
Man, it's a little bit of rain right now. Wind blowing kind of heavy. Feeling like Seattle, I guess, again.
But this is Maryland. Maryland is like that. It's always been like that.
Yeah. So this is it's Christmas Eve, man. I mean, I know this not going to drop until like the end of January, but
yeah, chances are very likely.
This is the last week of 2020, man.
Yeah, bro.
Man, like a week from tomorrow, it'll be 2021.
Yeah, and people think that the world is going to change specifically because 2021 is going to exist. Like, no. Like, we still going to be on quote, unquote, like lockdown in the entire country and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
Until we get this pandemic under control. But anyways, we got a nice topic we're going to talk about today.
Yes. We're going to talk about support and the lack thereof.
Yeah. And I hate it because you have to find the lack thereof support. You have to find that out the hard way when you're first starting off businesses or new ventures. So this we were having a side conversation about something completely different, and this topic came up, and it was like, this is too good not to do a podcast about.
Yeah, we tend to have moments like that when we have one topic, then we branch off into another one, and it's like, oh, this is just gold. We need to talk about this right now because it's fresh.
ASAP. So let's get into it. How are we gonna start this off? Are we just gonna randomly? I can get right into it if you need me to.
Man, go ahead. You have the floor.
Okay, appreciate that. So as an entrepreneur of various ventures, we doing the podcast. We do photography, we do short films, we do comedy skits. You have your clothing line.
Yeah, spend money broke.
I don't have any clothing lines or anything like that. But the point is, there's plenty of ventures that need support. You know what I mean? And there's I don't know what the format is. I don't know what the structure is. But there's a thing, at least in the DMV area, where I feel like as though people don't support you until you make it.
Yeah, that's facts. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because it's like you're not supposed to compare your stuff to others, but it's like sometimes you can just kind of look because you just want to see like who's getting the support. You want to see what they're doing. You know what I mean? And so when I look at it, it's like, man, that doesn't seem too far from what I'm doing. Like, what's the big difference? And it seems that all in all, this is like a big popularity contest. Would you agree?
I'd agree in most cases, but with a lot of the stuff we have going on now, it just seems as though, well, what you said, a popularity contest.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think people just really just don't care in certain aspects. Because even though we claim, like, the DMV, technically meaning D.C., Maryland, Virginia, is somewhat of a camaraderie that's supposed to come along with that.
Right.
We sort of lack that.
Facts.
We claim that we're together in that aspect, and that's mainly just because we tend to talk the same. We all listen to like go-go and stuff like that.
Right.
But that's where the similarities end. Like, we don't have that same type of camaraderie when it comes to working together. So the same one person who's starting a business that's doing the exact same thing as the person next to him, they're more than likely they're just gonna be like, okay, forget the dude on the left. I care about the one on the right. So even though he's doing something that's pretty much the same thing as what I'm doing, well, what somebody else is doing, I'm only going to support the people around that I possibly know, or I'm going to support the people around me that are pretty much a little bit well established and shit, instead of going for someone who at least just spending, not even just spending, but giving a little bit of attention to somebody who's just starting out.
Right.
Like, just because someone who is like starting out doesn't have the big platform, or they're lacking in certain areas, such as uh, I have a lot of friends that are really big on gaining notoriety for their business, but the thing is, like, their marketing strategies aren't really that good.
Right.
That's another thing that we kind of lack, is marketing strategies.
Right.
And with me, and I know that I've always lacked in that area,
Facts.
because me, I don't like, I really just don't market myself that well.
Right. That could be the same way for the most part. But like I told you yesterday, going into 2021, that's going to be like my big presser this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be marketing and promotion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, in the sense of like content, we pretty much have that down packed to the back of our hands now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at any given moment you can make content, or you could create something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So with the lack of support in the area, right? Do you think it's a case of it being too many entrepreneurs like trying to start a business at the same time? Like, do you feel like we need more structure? Because normally what happens is, say like, you would start a clothing line,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have this clothing line, so you have all these ideas for clothes. And me, I would want to get into that field, but normally what happens is I would come work for your clothing line,
Okay.
and you'll have ideas for your clothes, and then I'll add a certain different perspective to some of those ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, you're putting out different kinds of product for different kinds of people. And then eventually what happens is one of us will gravitate up a tier or a level. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So if that was the case, say like I'm under you and people like, oh, who made that right there? I like them. Let's get them to make some clothes for this celebrity or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're moving up. So that then what happens is you can bring in other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody can kind of like, it's almost like a train. One car pulls the next car, and then so on and so forth. Versus like, I feel like people are just like starting a bunch of the same things, and now it's kind of hard to support too from the other perspective. You know what I mean? Because like you said, who do you choose? Because you might not be able to afford supporting both people.
Okay. Yeah, I completely understand that.
Right.
See, I like your analogy with the one car pulling the next.
Right.
But nowadays it seems like everyone is the lead car.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not enough track for everybody.
Which is a big problem in itself.
So I would say that it somewhat lacks in structure, because first and foremost, our money doesn't circulate well within our own communities anyway.
Okay.
So that pretty much saying, like, we're spending a lot more money like outsourcing rather than working with the people that we are around.
Right.
So I understand people will want to just support the people that are closest to them. But there are actually some people out there that won't even support the people closest to them.
Yeah, and we definitely can get into that as well.
Yeah.
Because we have certain situations where it's like you'll go all out to support somebody, but then when it's your turn, people are MIA.
That happens really often.
Right.
And
so what do you feel? What do you feel like? Well, first, how does that make you feel? And then secondly, why do you feel like people do that?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't bother me. It's not gonna deter me from being a friend to someone.
Right.
It'll just let me know I can't trust you in certain aspects.
Facts.
So if I wanted to do like anything in general, I know not to come to you for support.
Right.
I mean, it'll. If you a black guy, like, I understand. Like, we fighting the same fight.
Right.
But on the other end, I'll just be like, you know what? I can't do business with you if you're not going to support. Like it's been many of people that I've chosen not to support specifically because they don't support on the other end. Like
Right.
they'll accept support but won't dish it out in return. They will not reciprocate. So a lot of people will lose business because of that, because of their ideals. Like, and that in general, like it fucks me up in a way
Right.
to where it's just like, how can you not support? Like, not even just me. Like, how can you not support somebody who's doing something with themselves? They want to create a possibility of generational wealth for their children. They want to like follow their dreams and not stay in the world that seems as though it's sleep.
So do you think like sometimes does jealousy come into play?
Jealousy, not in all cases,
But
but
like sometimes
in a
lately.
lot.
Think so?
Yeah, it could, because some people they're just like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And
Right.
then once they get to that point, they're like, oh, I wish I would have done that. And then they get mad at you because you're doing it and you're possibly successful at it or gain support from it.
Right.
So I've never had that personally happen to me or somebody actually say that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's like I've never really had to experience that. But I can definitely say it happens.
Okay.
Like that's one thing I can say. I can say that it happens even though it hasn't happened to me.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of just feel like, and like we was talking beforehand, I kind of feel like if you're doing something, especially if you're already a business owner, like, because earlier I said if you couldn't afford it, but it's things you can do even when you can't afford stuff, money wise.
Yeah.
You can like stuff, you can share stuff, you can
like, comment, share,
Yeah,
subscribe to their YouTube if they have one.
like anything, any little thing, it helps.
Yeah.
Every like helps when you're starting a business. Every share helps. Somebody's gonna see it,
or pass out a flyer or something. Like,
or just something. It's like it's kind of like no excuse from that aspect. So that's why I was asking about the whole jealousy thing, because I was like, I'm feeling like you said earlier, everybody wants to be the lead car, and if they can't be the lead car, they don't want to be on the tracks at all. And
either that or they just trying to knock out the tracks on the other end so you can't get past.
Right. And I feel like that's because I ain't gonna say since the beginning of time, but for a long time, because the leader is often always glorified. And the thing is, a lot of other positions are glorified too, but not as much as the leader. Like the leader gets the most attention.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it all boils down to. Is like people want to be what gets the most attention. And when they can't do that, they don't want to. It's like almost like a subconscious temper tantrum. They don't want to just be a part of it at all.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, my support, I can look at it and say like, people close to me do support. It is some people that you think is close to you that would have supported that don't, which I don't take it personal like how you were saying, but you also just like, it is kind of shocking.
Yeah, it definitely is surprising once you first find out, but then you get to a point where you just look at them and like, okay, I get it. That's who you are.
Right. And then you just act accordingly. You know what I'm saying?
Just reactionary.
Oh, and it's like some people do know what they're doing, because a lot of times you ever had like, the person won't like or share or comment, but when you see the person in person, oh yeah, I seen you do this and do that.
It was like, okay, I mean, you could have shown a little bit of support then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate the verbal support, but, just any little thing helps at this point, because you're trying to get somewhere. And then, Lord knows if the person does take off and blow up or something, then you're going to act like you've been supporting from day one. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean... It's so many avenues, especially because in this area where we're known to be like crabs in the barrel. you know, or bucket or whatever they say. And it's just like, what do you do? I mean, I know you keep going, you keep pushing, but like, what do you do? Because essentially, it's gatekeepers, and that's why I really don't like when it comes to business. I tend to try to do a lot of business that doesn't require the need of others. Because when you put it in the others, basically they're controlling your destiny in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when that happens, it's like people like to take advantage of those situations. People like to like not show love because they know it'll hurt more than it'll help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't want you to be the first one to take this place to new places, to do this and to get that. You know what I'm saying? It's like if it can't be them, then it won't be them.
Yeah, I completely get that. Like, some people just, like I told you before, like some people just don't want the tracks to move at all.
Right.
And they just sitting on the other end with dynamite and a long ass string and waiting for you to go past.
Yeah, with the little box that you push.
Yeah, they just waiting, bro. Like as soon as you get to that bridge, just boom.
Yeah.
Like it's waiting for it, but like those ideas of having like gatekeepers for specific, like for specific avenues and shit of like business in general. It kind of like it puts things into perspective. Like once you get to a certain level in business, and it might deter some people.
Right.
But with me, like remember I said like I remember we were talking about it, and I was talking about like my scripts and stuff like that. And I was having a conversation with my mom, and she was talking about, oh, why don't you start selling your scripts and stuff? And I was like, because they don't make money like that.
Right.
Like I was reading, and they was mentioning how people who write scripts, they'll probably get paid like a good $2,000 if that. And if it's a good script, I mean, maybe they'll get a residual. Maybe they'll get something like that.
Right.
If it's like a smash hit. But then you just look at the person, like there's so many other people getting paid off of your work.
Right.
If you had done it yourself and it had been a hit,
right,
then you'd profit all of that. And I was telling her, I was like, if I write a script, why would I give it to somebody and make less than what it's worth? Like I can shoot it myself.
Right.
It might not be to the standards at which you would see a Hollywood film, but at least I got my point across.
Right.
And it's technically like a moral victory because I've always believed in moral over money. Like I don't care about the money aspect. I care about the message. Like another thing, message over money.
Right.
If you have something that you want to do in life, why would you sacrifice it for a financial gain? It doesn't go hand in hand.
Right.
Like, cause that just means you were doing it for money. You weren't really doing it because you cared about it.
Right.
So,
but I wouldn't. But I also wouldn't be mad at somebody that wants to make a little bit of profit either.
That's cool. I have no problem with making a little bit of profit from it.
Right.
Like I'm not. That's not really what I'm getting at. I'm not saying like you completely selling out your idea.
Right.
No,
right,
I'm
right.
not trying to say that.
Right.
Like if that's how I sound, then yeah.
But it's all perspective based because like some people view it as selling out, others might view it as buying in.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. Like if you completely denounce everything outside of like if you denounce everything like that you stood for $1, then that's selling out.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you make money, if you're making a profit for something that you've done and it's successful, then that's not selling out. That like you said, that's buying in.
Right.
You turned into a profit. Like you were able to turn whatever it was that you did or made you popular, you made it a profit. That's good.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm completely okay with that. And that in avenues like that where those technically being the gatekeeper, like the people who are the people, the ones who buy the scripts,
Right.
like those are technically going to be like the gatekeepers. So if I cut the middleman out, like, I don't even care about the people who are buying scripts. I'm like, what can we do with the script?
Right. Okay. So I wanna segue into like a different type of a branch off of the support thing, and I want to talk about like black businesses. And on the ones where we talked about generational curses, we kind of got into this, but because this one is more so about support, I kind of feel like we can tackle it from a different perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and on the curses, the generational curses one, we kind of reference where, in order to get black people to a certain level, people will have to support black-owned businesses more. Okay. Why do you think it's such a problem? And we've seen this on Facebook. We've seen people. You've seen the things people say about supporting black businesses. Like,
I wish I could forget it.
Yeah, a lot of it I will denounce to the fact that a lot of people on Facebook just love being a contrarian. They don't even if it's something they agree with, for the sake of debate, they'll say the opposite.
Yeah, they just like the idea of causing a ruckus, I guess.
Yeah, and being different. Mm-hmm. So, but in a sense of, why do you think it's so hard for people to support black-owned businesses? Because you see the excuses that's made. And my one of my big bros, he was saying, we had this debate a long time ago, and he was saying this. He said, all it takes is like one bad experience at one black-owned business to stop supporting all of them. Mm-hmm. But you can have a bad experience with Nike, but you'll still go to Foot Locker. Mm-hmm. You'll have a bad experience with just anything, and it won't deter you from supporting that again. Yeah. Like you might have a bad experience with Jordan, but eventually you'll go buy more Jordans. You just change you might change the location of where you get the Jordans from, but you're still going to go buy more Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So why do you think like we've essentially programmed ourselves to quickly justify not supporting black-owned businesses?
Because white businesses are more convenient in their eyes.
Think so?
Yeah. Like we've been so hung up on convenience. Like, once we started doing the whole black-owned businesses, when like white people started doing theirs, like really jumping into it. Right. You remember the Black Wall Street shit? Yeah, right. They tore that shit down, and then they got that head start. They already had Fortune 500s and shit like that. Now, the businesses we got, we're just starting up.
Right.
Like, how many black banks do you know of?
One.
So do I. One.
Yeah, right up the street, actually.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, it's right. It's right when you on Pennsylvania Avenue, and you go past Donnell Drive. That's the turn to make to the mall. It's the next light.
All I knew about was the
Forest Railroad.
All I knew about was the One United Bank. That's the only one I knew about.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the name. I think it might be industrial something. Yeah, but that's a black-owned bank.
I might have to look that one up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know about.
But still, that's two.
That I knew of now.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah,
I didn't know this before.
I didn't know the one you talked about.
Exactly.
So that's 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah,
but
so we got 2 now.
But I'll let you know, there's at least 10 banks in this area.
There you go.
You had BB&T, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. What's it?
M&T.
M&T, yeah, that's what it is. There's a credit union by Andrews Air Force Base. It's probably more other ones around, but that's
it's the convenient. Yeah, they're more convenient right now. Yeah, like, they're more convenient.
They're ahead.
Like, why go to a soul food spot when McDonald's is right up the street?
Right.
So even though the food might taste better and it will also fill you up more,
the odds.
Yeah,
the odds push you in because not only is it in McDonald's up the street, probably on your way to a soul food spot, you might pass 3 McDonald's.
Yep, 3 McDonald's, like 12 Wendy's.
Yeah. So the odds, they play the analytic game.
Yeah.
Where they put things in the percentage of odds. So the odds of you passing up 3 McDonald's, you might get past the first one. And then the second one is just like, okay. But then you get to that third one and you're like, you know what? Let me just get me McDonald's.
Yeah. Like, same thing with, like, some of the restaurants around here. Like, how many niggas know about the little Uncaged Chef's little joint up the street, the little Marlboro Park? Marlboro Park.
Yeah, shout out to Uncaged Chefs.
Like, how many people know about that? But the thing is, like, before you get there, on one side they got the Chick-fil-A that's gonna get tons of business, tons of it.
Facts.
Chick-fil-A in its entirety. At 12 o'clock, you can't even get in there and get out within 20 minutes.
Facts.
Not possible.
And that's with 2 drive-through lines.
Yes.
2. Not just 1, 2.
Then on the other side, you got the seafood spot. Like, we're on the other side. I think is that black owned?
I don't think so. You talk about that blue and white?
Yeah, that's junk. Like, right over there by the Rite Aid.
I don't know. I haven't been there in years. They sell more than seafood, so I've eaten there once, but I got sick, so I never went back.
Yeah. So,
but if it is black owned, that gets a lot of business, though. I will say that. Not Chick-fil-A business.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to my mom about that yesterday. I was like, yo, this place get business anymore. It's because she was like, no, not as much because it's because of the COVID and shit. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
But then, like, getting back on topic, though, like, right next to that, like, 'cause you got that Chick-fil-A there.
Right.
And then not too far down the street, even though inside that little small little area and where that Chick-fil-A is, Uncaged Chef Jones like right around it. But you go down the street a little bit more, you got a McDonald's down there. I don't know if the Wendy's still there.
Yeah, I think the KFC's gone.
Like,
I think the Wendy's still there. I mean, but it's like it's so much stuff right there. It's Panda Express.
Yeah, and on the and we ain't talking about the other side.
Right, Panda
the other
Express
side got the Pizza Hut on that side. Well, matter of fact, I think they closed that jump.
For the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, they closed the Pizza Hut, but you got the Burger King, TGI Fridays,
Subway.
Like, yeah, you got Subway right there.
There's a Chinese restaurant back there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's closed. That might be closed with the pandemic too.
Yeah, the New York Chicken and Grill over there.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's black owned forever, because I mean that might be a franchise thing.
I think that is. I don't think that's black owned. Now, I mean, we would have to look up research and see who owns the franchise.
Yeah, like,
but
forever, like, we could be wrong. Like, in all of these like areas that we have, like all these businesses might be franchised. Like, and the black people actually own those specific franchises, because I mean that is a franchisable business. You can take, like, anyone can buy one.
Yeah, put money in and build one up.
Shit, hey, yo, how many people trying to put some money up we could buy the Chick-fil-A?
We could. I heard they actually not that expensive to build.
Maybe, you know how much money people
will
make if, like, they put the money together. Like, with the amount of money we circulate in this area, like, just...
You could just buy a couple of restaurants. They said Chick-fil-A, and it's one of them chicken spots. I'm not sure, because I get the chicken ones confused. I don't know if it's Wingstop. Which is the one that Rick Ross owned? He owned a few of them.
Was it on Roscoe's or something?
Nah, it's I don't know if it's Wingstop or I don't know if it's like
it might be Wingstop.
It might be Wingstop. And he doesn't own Wingstop the franchise, but he's bought 3 Wingstops though.
Yeah, you know the little lemon pepper.
Yeah. Both. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really fuck with lemon pepper wings like that whole team.
I could eat them, but it ain't how he was mentioning them in every song.
No, you gotta put some barbecue sauce on mine, but I don't hold you.
Yeah. But it's like that. That's the thing, though. You put together. I think he said one was about $30,000 or $40,000, and then you put that up, and it's gonna make a ton of money, especially like in this area. It would. You know what I'm saying?
Make like be doing Chipotle numbers.
Yeah, and see, that's the smart thing, cause see, McDonald's started Chipotle, and then Chipotle branched off. So the people on the opposite side know what they're doing. because they take these commodities, and we know like, all right, McDonald's started this, so if they you know how McDonald's got the, I know it ain't real, but over 99 billion served. It might be real. I don't know.
You know how long McDonald's been out, bro?
99 billion though. That's a lot of people, Slim. Like that.
I mean, they could count the same person multiple times. They keep coming back.
Yeah, because I haven't been to McDonald's probably in my lifetime. I've been at McDonald's probably like 200 times.
Nigga, it's probably more than that.
It might be. I'm just giving you a rough estimate, and I'm just one person. So.
Yeah, so I mean that will deter you from going to black businesses, because all the franchises that we done mentioned and shit. Like, remember, like we talked about the Uncaged Chef jump, but we also mentioned a whole bunch of other shit and wound up trailing off from that specific spot, because we ended up talking about these different franchises that are so much more convenience, in a way.
Because to get to the Uncaged Chef, if I was to leave this house right here and taking the quickest route, I have to pass a McDonald's, a carryout, a KFC, a Checkers, because Checkers is like on that side. You would have to. It's 2 carryouts across from the Checkers.
Yeah, like it just depends on the way that you go out.
Because
if you go out,
even if you come from the other way, that's even worse. That's worse.
Because that's where I was coming
from.
That's what I was talking about.
I was taking the easy way to try to make it sound good. You go the other way, that's worse. Because then you do run into Chick-fil-A and Panda Express and Jerry Subs and Pizza, Little Caesars and it's tough. But we need to get it to a point where it's the opposite. Not even the opposite, but more so even. Mm-hmm. Where if I'm going to the mall, I'm going to pass 2 or 3, black-owned Jones.
Yeah.
Like, I own like Horse and Dickies or Sylvester's.
Yeah. And, like they made it a lot more, or they wised up, but it was like in a really fucked up way.
What you mean?
Because, like with big business franchises, you ever notice like they'll have like a black front man for like any type of ad or something like that. How many people actually think that the woman who does the Popeyes chicken is like she actually owns the business?
Hell nah.
You're talking about, this is my fried chicken. No, it's not. Like, it's the person. Like, I've done research on Popeyes. It's owned by a white dude.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that you can fool people, but only for so long. Like people see Louisiana and think black people.
Yeah, like shit was started by a white dude in there. But the thing is, like the recipe, black people, like motherfuckers be taking the motherfucking recipes and shit.
They did. Same thing with KFC.
Yeah,
because 11 herbs and spices. Colonel Sanders ain't make that shit up, man.
If it was Colonel Sanders, it would have been salt, pepper, and grease.
Yeah, he's racist. So I know, and that's what. Well, first of all, that's what KFC used to taste like back in the day: salt, pepper, and grease. So it might have been Colonel. Might have been the Colonel. You know what I'm saying? That might have been his shit. But
until Rufus showed up and started putting his seasonings in.
Yeah. But that's just the convenience thing. Is just that's what really bringing it full circle. That's what really dooms the support, no matter what you're doing.
Definitely,
it's convenient to support like the popularity, the well-established,
and they made sure of it, because if Black Wall Street would not have been destroyed, we would have had a solid foundation to where we were looking at black businesses as more of a priority than a last resort.
Right, and now it's shifting slightly because now with everything that's gone on, you have more and more people like making it a priority.
Yeah,
but with that comes more and more people pushing it back down. And sadly, it's more and more of our own people, as we talked about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you just heard somebody be like, well, I'm not obligated to do this. I'm not obligated to do that. I'm gonna just buy from wherever I want to buy from.
Yeah, I remember when you said, how hopeless are you? Those are like the super hopeless right there, bro.
Yeah. And it's like, why not why not have a chance to be a part of something like potentially special?
Yeah.
Even if it don't turn out special, at least to like try to help it become special.
And a lot of the people, those usually be the ones that complain the most about how the world is. But they
Right, and don't want to do
change.
nothing. You're right. That's exactly right. Because it's like we can roll with the punches because we know at the end of the day we gonna throw punches back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind getting hit if I know I'm gonna get a chance to swing. I mean, unless you knock me out, and then that's different. But if I'm knocked out, I also wouldn't mind being hit because I'm not gonna remember being hit. And then anyway, anyways, you get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying. But that's just like what it is in a nutshell. That's a perfect analogy for it. The people who complain the most about the shit being the way it is won't do nothing to change it. Like I get prayed for.
Don't even start there, dog.
I get positive vibes sent my way.
People get to send you the prayer hands, like, "Oh, I'm praying for you, man." And don't even do it.
It's so confusing because it's like, one, when that emoji originally came out, that was a high five.
It was,
but now it's been changed to prayer hands. Cause you remember, I remember being on Facebook a long time ago, right? And this caused a big ruckus. Somebody got killed. And so what happened was somebody, you know how people post pictures of people that saying rest in peace and all that. Mm-hmm. So somebody had commented on the junk, and I guess they was ahead of the curve and was thinking it was prayer hands. But we all looking at it like, damn, somebody was gonna high five knowing that somebody got killed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and the person's all like, yo, you high fiving that my cousin got killed, or you know what I'm saying, what's good? What, you had something to do with it or something? And now you done created a whole new problem.
Yeah.
being cliche, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, I guess just turning the words to actions. Like if you could do an action, you wouldn't have to say nothing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, don't or at least don't send no emojis. Say something like you mean to tell me, Mike, if you call me, right? Mm-hmm. And this is how I support you. If you was to call me and be like, yo, one of my family members died. There's nothing in my mind that would make me say, damn, bro, keep your head up, stay strong.
Yeah, that shit's so cliche. I'll just be like, man, that shit ain't fucking called.
Right. Right. Now I get on social media, that's like you want to keep stuff short and sweet and simple. But you can say something so when a person read it, it sounds more genuine.
Yeah. Like the support is just different.
Yeah.
They do the same, like they actually made it so like the shit we talking about now, like the cliches is more of a priority now. Cause if you ever notice, like doing like randomly on like well, first and foremost, like Instagram, sometimes like if you click on the little post, like they'll have the emojis already up at the top.
Right. Facebook does that too.
Yeah, Facebook does it too. Like,
I actually seen that this morning.
Yeah,
I watched your video.
They have the automatic little
right.
joints there. Have like, oh, awesome, or
thank you.
I love this. Or some shit. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And then when I see stuff like that on my page, I mean, I'll still comment back. I'll comment back like a GIF or some shit. It's like, oh, thank you. It'll be like a random gift that says thank you. But like normally just the cliche shit, like nah, like I don't really respond to it well because it's just like it's not genuine. Right. So why would I respond to that genuinely?
I respond to, because I try to respond to everybody that says something.
Yeah, I respond to it.
But you definitely will probably get a cliche back.
Yeah, like that's what
you know what I'm
you'll
saying?
get a cliche back. Not unless I'm trying to be like funny or something, and then I'll post like some
the laughing emoji.
Yeah, like a laughing emoji, and then I'll post like just when you did this morning when you post the on the post that I did this morning, the little video. And then I sent you the little Denzel, my
that's
man.
Funny. Yeah. That's one of my favorite lines of all time.
Yeah.
Like, American Gangster, my man. That's one of my,
So, and that type of support, I'm just like, I understand it.
Right.
Like, I love that because it still is genuine.
Right.
Because you're not giving me a cliche answer.
Yeah.
But
and this, has convenience taken over so much that you're almost inhuman to like all these situations. Like you're desensitized, and I get it, being desensitized, because growing up in this area, you done seen a lot, you done been through a lot. But at the same time, I still feel emotions with shit. You know what I mean? Like there's like I've had friends get killed.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop me from being emotionalist if another friend get killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. But, yeah, it all comes down to that. But the thing with that is, like, which is another full circle, people will do that to you, but when it comes to, like, strangers or other people that they don't know as well, they the ones that get the emotional responses, the genuine responses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, either that or somebody like they really, really like.
Yeah, like, and that's another whole conversation in itself, because that's a problem too. Like people tend to just support people that they might find attractive, or they got something they relate to, might be a neighbor. Now I'll support you for being attractive, but I'm gonna support my friends too.
Yeah, I've supported people that I've never even got a chance to meet in person.
Right.
Like I like, comment, share, because I know how important that is to an entrepreneur, especially someone who's up and coming.
Facts.
Like I've had like people on Instagram, like the little sponsorships, like they'll show you like the music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've found numerous artists on Instagram, and I've listened to their albums like back to back to back with no skips, and I realized like these are some great artists.
Right. And even if I do that, even if I don't like the music, I'll like the video.
Yeah.
And then I'll comment. I might put something cliche like "keep grinding," keep working. And
But that's not necessarily that's not really cliche though, because you're still giving them that positive reinforcement.
Oh yeah, but because I understand, like, and I used to do music, so I understand, like, when you're trying to build a buzz, every little thing counts. Because if I come along and comment something, and now you could do the thing where you can pin comments, so when the video scrolls past, it's an automatic comment you'll see.
Yeah.
If I comment something wavy or cool, and then you come along right behind me, you might not be just wanting to fuck with the video, but you see my comment and be like, oh, all right, let me see what he talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's just like, it helps, like it's the locomotive thing. One car pulls another car, so now one listener could get you another listener, and people, it's like everything is just so backwards.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off of what you mentioned earlier about us having like somewhat of an emotionless side because of our like pretty much indoctrination, because of the way that technology has like brought us up to where everything just seems like it's so jumbled up to where we don't even care about anything, like as far as emotions, as far as anything.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever noticed, like as far as phones are concerned, or social media in general? I'll definitely just say social media.
Okay.
Even just in text messaging, like you notice that some people will text and they'll put like LOL, or they'll put LMAO, or they'll just say, "Oh, that was hilarious," but have a completely dull look on their face.
Right.
Our emotions are trapped within a single box. It's just it's trapped inside of the phone itself.
Right.
Like our phone is our emotion.
Right.
And that actually translate eventually, once you do it enough, like all that will translate into the real world if you do it enough.
Right. But that's wild though, cause I can't type that if I'm not laughing. Like if you see me, all right, LOL, I might have chuckled, but if you see me put LMAO, I might have just been crying. you know what I'm saying? Like cause we cry a lot now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
we crack some jokes. Niggas be crying. Like,
yeah.
like You know, so
Yeah, like we had those moments, bro. Even on air and off air, we had those moments where it's just like that was too funny.
yeah, like that. Like it ain't. I don't. I get it, but I don't get it because I don't think I can never just be like laughing my ass off and not be laughing, or had laughed or at least chuckled or something.
Yeah,
But I seen people do what you say though. I seen that.
yeah. I'm not even gonna say that I'm exempt. I've done it before,
Okay.
to where it's just like you type LOL just because it just seems somewhat habitual.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah, like you have no other alternatives. Like your fingers, like LOL. I'm just so used to it.
Right.
And again, like that translates. And a lot of the stuff we're shown nowadays, like nothing's private anymore.
Right. Right.
And what a lot of people really lack to understand is that like a lot of black people have PTSD, if not all, have PTSD.
Yeah, it's a lot. And if you don't know what that is, you need to find out.
Post traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
And
So it's that, and that turns into another array of other scenarios where you can get anxiety, depression.
Yeah, that comes from PTSD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's basically branching off of it, and it's just it's so much. Like you're up against so much that you don't know you're up against, and a lot of things you go through, you don't even know you're going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people have like PTSD, but don't even know what it is, so they just think it's normal.
Yeah.
Like if I'm growing up in a certain area where people shoot a lot, I mean,
Yeah, dude, we hear it all the time, and then
Right.
it's like, well, nigga, let me go to sleep.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's a form of it. But to us, it's like, yeah, you know, like you said, let me go to sleep.
So the average person will look at this and they're like, how the hell can you go to sleep like this? Like,
Yeah,
we used to it.
right. So
Like-
it's like me. I can lay down as long as I don't hear like glass shattering, indicating that the bullet's coming through my window or something. Then it's just like, all right, you know,
It ain't me and shit.
right.
That's pretty much how it
right.
is.
right.
And that's actually a fucked up way of saying it and shit.
It is
But that's how it works.
right.
And that again, like that's another form of PTSD is where you become so neutral and emotionless to your surroundings, especially very negative stuff such as that. Like you see that another person got killed, or you see that somebody got shot, and you just blank faced the whole time because you're so used to it.
Right.
And you see it all the time. Like PTSD is nothing more than a lot of it is remembering past traumas and stuff like that. But if you notice how social media works, social media will continuously push that on us the entire day.
Right.
So we're internally and externally being forced into PTSD because like we're forced to remember how the world works.
Right.
And I actually, I'm not even gonna try and plug myself again, but like in the book that I wrote earlier this year, the Black Power Project.
Go ahead, plug yourself, man.
Yeah,
It's about support, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I wrote a book earlier this year, the Black Power Project. It's free. You want the book? Hit me up. I wrote it. It's actually a portion of the book where I talk about PTSD and how Black people do have it. And I noted the symptoms. I noted how things are working. Like a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about now, like a lot of things that I've said it already in my book earlier this year. And like I said before, it's free. You hit me up, you can get it. I'm not shy when it comes to teaching someone about something. Like I love to have people come to me as like, oh, I want to learn something, but I also like learning from other people.
Right.
So I learn from other perspectives. Like that's how I come to terms with like my own like knowledge in general. Like I get my knowledge from a collective of inner self and learning from others. It's like the combination of like self-awareness and also experiences.
Okay.
But we actually kind of trailed off though
I know, but
Just
everything comes full circle though. Everything comes full circle. This is what we here for. You know,
this podcast technically seems more like ADHD. We never stay on the same topic for a little while.
But everything always, the stories just they're relatable topics, and then we come back full circle or whatever. So it's like, so we could just bring it back full circle. So when it comes to like your book and the clothing line. And recently, we just started this campaign of like trying to recruit other actors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you feel that support is going? And then I'm gonna chime in after you.
Well, it's not the fact that we're lacking in support, and for the most part, because I have garnered a lot of support from certain people,
right?
But it's just that the algorithms haven't been in our favor,
right,
as far as the social media is concerned. YouTube is YouTube. Don't necessarily gotta put much into perspective as far as YouTube is concerned.
Right.
But Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they're so algorithm based.
Right.
That it's almost impossible to reach anybody without a financial backing.
Yeah. And they got you jumping through hoops. Like, I got to post at certain times. And if I post at other times, I might not get as many views, or people seeing my videos. I post a video on Monday, people not seeing it till Thursday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a lot. Like you said, you almost need a financial backing. But we're gonna tackle a lot of that coming into the new year. Like, that's gonna be the big focus for us. So I feel like support wise, I get a lot of support as well. I guess I'm just greedy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like because I've supported so much, I felt like when it was my turn, and I guess it goes back to the thing, what they be saying, like, you can't expect you from everybody.
Yeah.
So I guess it goes like back to that, because it's like, I've always been like, I've never had to be the top guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never had to be like in the limelight. I've always was cool with having a background role. I like pushing people like to the forefront. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, I felt like everybody was gonna have a turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I felt like when it was my turn, it wasn't the same as when it was other people's turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we were saying earlier, it doesn't deter me from it, because at the end of the day, and I say this to you like all the time, is like, I feel like regardless, because of how I work, I'm going to get shine regardless.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I feel like we're owed. That's what we're due. You try not to expect nothing, but I feel like at least for all the hard work, you're due something.
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. Me, I'm more humble in my ideas.
I mean, I'm humble too.
Well,
it's not. I don't want it to come off as being arrogant. I just want it to come off as like, nah, you work hard. You deserve this.
I mean, I get it. No, I completely get it, because you do have an idea of, since you were helping so many people, that you deserve your due diligence. But me, I've gotten to the point where because you know my backstory.
Right.
I helped everybody. Like, that was me. I wanted to help people. And I didn't normally get it in return. I eventually started to expect it. Like, once I got a little bit older, then I just started to get depressed and stuff like that. But once I really just started to do good for me in general, and not for for other people to like support me or something like that, then I started to feel a lot better. But it's not look at it in
but
a
like
way.
you said earlier, that doesn't make it right.
Yeah,
though.
it don't.
Yeah.
It don't. Like, I'm not saying that you should go around like not reciprocating the same energy that was given to you. I'm not saying that.
Because now, and I say this oftentimes about like nice and good people. Now what it sounds like is like you're just justifying them not supporting you, and you're cool with it.
No, that's not.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how it comes off, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's like, That's why I was like, it's just, I'd rather just say, like, I feel like after a while, you'll deserve something.
Yeah, but I understand. I understand that. Like, but I wasn't like giving him somewhat like a justification and shit.
Yeah, cause if you make a long story short, what I was hearing was, you know, yeah, you ain't gotta support me, you know, I do this for me, you know, yeah, blah blah blah. And now people gonna listen and be like, all right, well, he said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to. I don't support people who don't like support me. Like that's where my cutoff is.
Right.
Like if you choose like not to support me, that does not mean that I'm going to. That's not going to be. It doesn't mean that I'm going to immediately support you back.
Right.
Like I've learned my lesson.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've learned my lesson. I've supported people.
That's the important thing.
I've supported people. Well, I've supported people who have like literally like shunned me as far as like my business is concerned.
Right.
I don't do nothing for them at all. That's one of my biggest things I needed to learn how to do was say no.
Right.
I can say no with ease now.
Okay.
Like if somebody come to me like, oh, can you support this? Like, oh, you gonna support me? Cool. Some people they'll be like, all right, I'll support you, and then I'm the one who has to reciprocate it first.
Right.
Then it's just like, okay. Then they don't do nothing back. That's when that's the cutoff point.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So that's the cutoff point. So the way I look at it is just like, if you're gonna support me, then I'm expecting the same thing to be reciprocated to me.
Right.
But if you don't, cool. I don't have to be bothered with you later on. I had to, I gotta elaborate more next time. Okay. I get it. Yeah, I get how it was coming off at first.
Yeah, that's a little too noble and shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what I'm here for, though. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, but I still am willing to help people, like especially people who are, I'm not gonna say doing less than me, but someone who's like really just trying to come up.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. I would help anybody. Like you could be ahead of me, I can still help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But just know, like at the end of the day, it would be nice if it was reciprocated. Mm-hmm. You know, like when you do favors, you're not supposed to be counting favors, and you're not supposed to be. But I also feel like looking from a different perspective, people want you to tell yourself that, so they can just kind of dry the well.
Yeah, so they can just keep using it until you pretty much do the Bill Withers.
Yeah,
so just keep on using me till you use me up.
Yeah, you know, and it's just like nah, I don't know. But you got any final thoughts? We're approaching the hour mark.
Yeah, I mean, as far as final thoughts are concerned, like support Black-owned businesses. Please, like not even just, not even just go out and just support anybody. I mean, if they're bad business, they're bad business.
Right.
That's cool. Like if you just don't support bad businesses, I'm okay with that.
Right.
But don't justify not supporting us at all.
Right.
Like if you go into a business and you have horrible service, that's technically like how you see like men and females bashing each other. One person do you wrong, the whole lot gotta be the problem.
Right.
But no, that's not how it works. It's not a crab in the barrel thing. Like one size don't fit all with Black-owned businesses. Like a lot of us work differently.
Yeah, a lot of people got their head on their shoulders. A lot of people work hard. A lot of people do their due diligence as far as knowledge and the structure it takes to run a Black-owned business. And the only thing that they're missing is like proper, consistent support.
Yeah, and just think about it this way: how many times have you either gotten a package stolen, or how many times have your package arrived late or not at all,
Facts.
And you still using like Amazon, or you still use like eBay, or you still use like whichever online services.
And you subconsciously justify them messing up, but as soon as, I mean, it's like we said earlier, as soon as the Black-owned business mess up, now all Black-owned, this is why I don't buy Black-owned businesses, this is why I don't do that, this,
that just sounds like cooning to me. I'm sorry.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Not to like really just try and put like an evil name to it, but I'm sorry.
Evil name is funny.
I'm sorry. It just sounds like a coon to me, man. Like you just justifying not giving support to your own, and like the money don't circulate well with us, and that's one of the main reasons why.
Yeah, and that's another thing I feel like people. I feel like that's a big thing that people just don't want to support people they know. Like it would pain them to know that they're giving their hard-earned money to somebody that they know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're gonna stop there. Support the businesses, y'all. Please, black owned, please. You see your friend.
You ain't gotta support me, and just support your local black owned businesses.
Anything. It don't cost money. A share, a review, or just anything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and shouts out to the Uncaged Chefs, bro. Y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Uncaged Chef. You ever ate that before?
So I have not. I actually follow them, but the stuff that they be posting, I'm just like,
man, fire, right?
What?
Yeah, I'm actually friends with a person on Facebook that be doing like a lot of cooking and stuff, and his stuff be looking like super torch as well. But he doesn't have nearly, at least in my opinion, he doesn't have nearly the following that the stuff he posts deserves. Mm-hmm. Like it looks almost like a lot of the Uncaged Chef stuff, and that stuff looks like it belong on TV.
So there's so many like black people as far as that can cook their ass off.
Yeah,
it's like it's crazy. Like, cause a lot of them don't even want to do anything of that nature as far as like the restaurant business. Like shit, you could start a food truck. Food trucks cost like what, 15,000? That
yeah, probably about 15, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but you know, people can start off small. You cook out your home.
Hell yeah,
you might not have 15,
so
20,000.
It's people who starting businesses off of just grilling hot dogs in their front yard.
Yeah, and you know, I would nothing wrong with a glizzy. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Fully loaded.
Like you said, break it in half before you eat it around us.
Or wrap it up, take it home with you. You know what I'm saying?
You can't eat the glizzy at the cookout, man. You gonna get clown.
Yeah.
And this is where glizzy came from, like DMV area.
Yeah, all that Chicago and New York shit. They got this stuff. New York claiming mumbo sauce now.
Hey, y'all better not try to disrespect off no band and shit like that.
This was originated in from the DMV and New York though. Like, come on,
nah. Y'all can't keep claiming shit.
I got pizza. We let y'all have pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Even though it's from Italy.
It is from Italy. But as far as American grounds, you know, New York is known for their pizza when it comes to food. Yeah. Philly got the cheese steaks. You know.
Philly. Chicago got the little deep dish Jones.
Yeah, the deep dish pizzas, facts.
With Cincinnati, like y'all got the chili and all that shit. Like,
yeah, Kentucky. Fried chicken.
Yeah, like we go touch that.
Louisiana, fried chicken.
Louisiana is known for that seafood, for real.
Yeah, they is the gumbo and the crawdads and all that.
Crawfish and all that shit. Like, we ain't. Yeah, you ain't gonna
Cajun, the spices and shit.
Yeah. They should be. I don't know. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't. I'm not a seafood fan, so
I'm allergic to seafood. Oh, can we do a podcast about food one day, man?
Man, we two fat dudes. Why would we do a podcast about food?
That should have been the first episode, man.
Nah.
Hey, what's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Two fat niggas. You know, we talk about food today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we done veered off track again. You know, but it's what we do. You know, I'm Teddy,
and I'm Tony,
and we gone.